Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you an AT&T 1509, and this is a corded telephone with an answering machine with a micro cassette. And this is Susan's telephone from New York. And so basically she says the telephone works, but the answering machine does not. And so we're going to troubleshoot this telephone. I have the telephone in and it's plugged into the line, but she would need a new modular plug on the line cord because the clip is broke off the one that she has. And so that's one issue. And we're going to go ahead, we do not have the transformer plugged in yet, but I'm going to go ahead and give you some dial tone. And I want to walk through our numbers if you watch the analyzer. And I'm not getting the 0. This button has been glued on, or something is on it to where it's hard to access the 0. And I'll show you that in a minute. If you pull it up, it's like it's been damaged or something. So we know that's an issue right there. I can't always dial the 0. There it goes. Okay, there's some kind of glue or something on it, and it seemed to have wanted to lock up and not pull back out. So we're going to have to look into that issue, because she has some type of note with this telephone to not take anything off of it. So for some reason she wants this marker on the 0, but the problem with that is the 0 button wants to lock up and stay down most of the time, and then you kind of have to pick it up. So that is an issue, and we're going to have to figure out what we're doing about that. And so now what we want to do is transmit into the handset. So if you watch that red light on the analyzer, every time that red light lights up, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. So we know that that works. And so this has received transmit, and the telephone is dialing out. And for what reason, the 0 has something glued to it, and that dials out sometimes. So this telephone probably needs the transformer plugged in for it to ring, but we're going to go ahead and try the ringer. Okay, it has a regular manual piezo buzzer. I'll give you some dial tone. So we're okay there. So all we need the transformer for is the answering machine, and that's what I want to show you. I want to bring the telephone in a little bit, and we're going to pick up the lid, and I know for a fact that somebody has pried on this tape, because the tape is actually broke. So somebody has gotten into the tape and they've tried to pull the tape out, but the problem is the head's still up at the tape, and so is the roller. So basically what happens is it's not going to come out, and they've broke the tape. But that's not the issue. When this sets up, it should set up with the idler out of the way and the head in the back position, so it wouldn't be left up against the tape. So yes, there is an issue going on with it, but they actually probably made the problem worse by prying on it, because now if we troubleshoot this and repair it, we're going to have to realign some things, and they may be sableable and they may not. We might have to replace more now. I'm going to plug this in, and what you're going to see is the machine try to do its setup, but it's not able to. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. So it basically just sits there and drives itself crazy. It's going back and forth, and it wants to try to do something, but it can't set up. So there is an issue, and we're going to have to take this unit apart and start troubleshooting it. Now I'll go ahead and push play, but the tape is just going to go back and forth because it doesn't know what to do because it's locked up in a sense. So I want to go ahead and unplug the transformer, and we're going to go ahead and take this apart. Now I'm going to try to get some video of this as we move forward in the progress of the repair of this telephone. So we're going to take a short break, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and if you've never seen the inside of one of these machines, this kind of gives you a look at what's going on. And I figured out what's going on with the button in the 0. It looks like they have broke, and I'll show you a little later on in the video. Looks like they broke the plastic that kind of holds that button in, because these are independent momentary switches. And the little rubber boot on them is basically supposed to push your button back, but so is the case, and I'll show that to you. Each one of these buttons in the back of the case has 2 pieces of plastic that has not been cut away, and they're kind of like routed out. And so what they've done here is they've busted this 0, and I think they glued something on the front of it to be able to grab it and pull it back out, but it only works about half the time, and it's not quite the repair that they would need on this unit to work properly. So we're going to see if we can't do something about that, and we'll go from there. But basically what we need to do, and there's a note that was written about how don't take anything off the tape and all that, but this machine has long ago forgot where everything was at on this tape, and there's no outgoing message test. And when they broke the tape, they were on side 2. So we're all set up. I've already repaired the cassette unit, and so now what we want to do is I want to tap announce. So if I tap it, it should play a message that they had on there, but that could have been ruined from them having problems. And these machines remember their timing. They give out little codes, and they set up a timing situation, and the only way to get anything off this tape now would be to put it in a microcassette and play the microcassette back, because you're not going to get anything off of this unit. And I'm assuming since they had side 2 broke, that was the side they were using, because I've also switched it over and set everything up on side 1, and I still don't get an outgoing message. And in order for me to be able to repair the machine totally, I have to hear an outgoing message. So we're going to go ahead, we're on side 2, and I'm going to tap announce. It should give the outgoing message. Our volume is up, and we want to do that. But it doesn't. It only goes for a second, and then it shuts back off. That's because the timing was messed up when the unit broke down, and then the grabbing of the tape and trying to bend on it and mess with it, it got it out of whack, and it's not going to give a message. So what I need to do is a outgoing message, and so we're going to do that right now. Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test. So now we know if this plays back the message test, we can move forward.
Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test.
We'll let that set up. So now we know that the unit is repaired. It's taking a message, an outgoing message, your announcement, and whatever's on that tape that they want to try to save. The only way that you're going to be able to listen to any of it, like I said earlier, is to put this cassette in a micro cassette player and play it out. But I have to do some tests to make sure that I've got the unit repaired and that it is working. And so I'm going to have to leave a message. And that wouldn't be that much out of the tape anyway. Between what I left a message, outgoing message, and I'm going to leave an incoming message or two, we're okay. You know, there's nothing I can do about it. You know, I could put another tape in there, but they seem to want to use this tape, so I have to do my test with a tape that they left me. Even though it's broke, it's still going to work if they, you know, if they're not rough with it, and if the unit is setting up properly, you should have no problem now taking the tape out. It'll go in easy and come out easy like it's supposed to, because the unit is set up the way it is, and the head and the idler and everything is back in the position where it's supposed to be. So now what I want to do is I want to leave an incoming message. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the unit down a little because these will feed back. I want to ring the unit. We'll wait for it to answer.
Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test.
Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incoming message test. Hello, hello. It's only counting my message as a new message. So let's see what it does when I press play.
Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incoming message test. Hello, hello. Hello.
Now, it started to want to play some other messages, but the machine has lost its timing ratio, and it doesn't know where it's at. So you would actually have to get a micro cassette out to listen to the other messages. And the machine is not going to be reliable in doing that because it doesn't know where it's at now. And it is fixated on my outgoing message for an announcement and on my incoming message that I left as a test. So anything other than that, it's going to be on the tape, whatever they're wanting to try to save. But where I had to do my test, that's the only thing that's going to be missing, and we had to do that. So anyway, if you've never seen the inside of one of these units, I want to kind of give you a look at this. On a tape machine, there's a deck here, and you have wires that come off the head. The head, the roller, have to move back and forth up against the tape. Okay, and so at the factory on the tape deck, they put some little slots that you're supposed to run the wires on. Well, the wires are kind of taut, so basically what happens is when you put the cover back on, if everything is just not perfect, it will not work right. So that'll be an issue for any machine that's ever been repaired. And they can get out of whack themselves, but what I like to do is I take the deck and I cut some of the metal out of the deck, so that frees up the wires, because you have to have room under the cover once you put the cover back on the machine, and you want this to be able to freely move back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap the announcement. It's going to read out my announcement, my test announcement, and you will see the head and the roller move back and forth. And what that does is it kicks these wires back, and then they go back and forth. So if they can't move freely, you're going to have problems. And so we take some of the deck out, and that way the wires don't get caught up against the deck and the cover. So I'm going to tap this.
Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test. Hello, hello.
So I'll do that one more time, and you can see the action on this.
Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test. Hello, hello.
Okay, so basically you get the idea of the movement we have here. Now, it's a poor design is what it is. It should have been a ribbon cable, a very thin computer type ribbon cable, and not these wires that are taut. And there's 4 of them. So, you put any resistance in here between the cover and the movement, and you don't allow that head and that roller to move back and forth, you're going to have problems. Now, that wasn't the issue with the machine. It had other issues in the gears and idler and things. So basically the unit is repaired as long as we get our incoming and outgoing and that all tests out good. So there's a lot of testing that goes on because you got so much more going on with an answering machine. The other issue is we repaired the 0 button here. I took the glue that they had on there, the epoxy, and then I have a way that I repair the button in the back, and so now the button is springy once again, just like the rest of them. And so we won't have an issue with that any longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything back together again, and then we're going to do some final test. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are ready for our final checkouts. And we're going to check the unit out, but it goes a lot further than that. When I have to check these units out, I spend a lot of time with them. I basically unplug them and plug them back in and keep checking them. I might even let it sit overnight and plug it back in, make sure everything's setting up properly. So there's a ton of checking that goes on when you're working on answering machines. And you have to keep checking everything to make sure everything is going to work properly for the customer. So basically, there's a whole lot more testing that needs to be done. But we're ready for our final checks, and we're going to go ahead and do them. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and ring the phone, but I'm going to answer it, and we're going to go through our numbers. I'm going to let it ring one more time, because 4 rings would be the answering machine. Give you some dial tone. I want to walk through our numbers. Remember at the earlier part of the video we were having a problem with the 0. It wouldn't dial most of the time, and then you had to pull it out. So we'll walk through our numbers if you watch the analyzer. I'm going to go 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 6, 0, 2, 0, and we'll end with a 2, a 0, and a 2. So we know that the 0 is not an issue any longer. That has been repaired. And as long as there's no damage to the unit, or it's not, any rough things going on with it, the 0 should be fine now under normal usage. So we're going to go ahead and transmit into the handset. And if you watch that red light on the analyzer, that's 100% modulation on transmit. So we know that this telephone is ringing in, we know it has receive, we know it has transmit, and we know it dials out. That wasn't the issue, except for when it came to the 0, and that was an issue, and that has been taken care of. We're going to go ahead and check our outgoing message by tapping the outgoing message button.
Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test. Hello, hello.
Okay, we know that that's moving freely now, and those wires are not getting trapped that go to the head. And you have to be careful with that, because that is an issue. I work on a lot of telephones, and a lot of times that can happen with the wires. Why they don't use a ribbon cable that's very thin and flexible is, I don't know. It's just a poor engineering design. Okay, we had to take a short break there, and so now what we were in the middle of is doing our final check. So we were going to call the unit and leave a message, so we'll go ahead and do that right now. It answers on about 4 rings.
Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test. Hello, hello.
Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incoming message test number 1. Hello, hello. Now we don't want to have the volume control too loud while I'm doing this, because what will happen is this telephone will feed back. So we'll go ahead and ring the telephone again and leave another message.
Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test. Hello, hello.
Incoming message test number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. Incoming message test number 3. tape set up. Now, on my second incoming message test, I said message test number 3, and I meant to say number 2. So we'll go ahead and let the tape set up, and we'll listen to our messages. As soon as we see this red light here blinking and the tape stops, we can access our messages.
Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incoming message test number 1. Hello, hello. Incoming message test number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. Incoming message test number 3.
You're going to... Okay, when you hear those beeps, you're supposed to press save if you want to save the messages. If not, the unit will rewind when it starts getting another phone call, and then it will set up to give its outgoing message. So we can be assured pretty much that this unit is answering the telephone, it's giving the outgoing message, and it's taking an incoming message. And so basically what we're going to do now is I have a switch box here, and I know that the telephone, the problems with the telephone didn't have anything to do with the keypad or making phone calls, but we'll go ahead and call a time and temp anyway, and I'll take my switch box and press that, and that gives us a line out and totally takes the analyzer out of the situation. Give you some dial tone. We'll call a time and temp number.
Good evening. Offenburg St. Clair Auto Mall with 5 new car lines at one location in O'Fallon. Offenburg.com. Today is Thursday, June 6th. The time is 6:13. Current temperature 85 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Partly cloudy tonight, 20% chance of a shower after midnight, lows around 60. Friday, partly sunny, 20% chance of a shower, highs in the mid-70s.
Okay. So we know that the telephone is working properly. I will push my switch and release it, and that takes us back to the analyzer. I will leave one more incoming message test.
Outgoing message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Outgoing message test. Hello, hello.
Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Final incoming message test on the video. Hello, hello. We'll let the tape set up and we'll listen to that. Now, there will be a lot of other testing going on, and we want to make 100% sure that this unit is going to be usable and that it doesn't have any problems. And if there is any, we'll work them out. But anyway, the way it looks right now, it looks good, and the unit test out. We'll go ahead and listen to the last message.
Incoming message test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Final incoming message test on the video. Hello, hello.
We're just waiting for the tape to set up. Okay, now that we know that this telephone has been repaired, we can return it to Susan and she can start enjoying this telephone again. You know, customers get used to the equipment that they have, they like it, and when something goes wrong with it, they want it repaired. And they want to be able to continue to use the unit that they like. And Susan likes this telephone. So we were able to repair it for her, and I'm sure she'll be very happy with it. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.